If you're like me, you'll go into each new year with good intentions. This is going to be your best year yet. Where you join that gym and you get super fit and healthy. Where you get that promotion that you've been looking for a while. Where you improve your relationships. Where you finally turn your life round and start spending time on the things that you love and enjoy. When I was younger, every year I would make these lofty, massive New Year's resolutions. And for those first 2 weeks of January, I was really going for it. I was making them happen. And then around about January the 15th, this happened. Yep, New Year's resolutions totally up in smoke. So that was my reality until a number of years ago when I discovered something utterly crucial about New Year's resolutions and goals in general that finally allowed me to get them to stick. So before I explain what that one thing is, we need to first talk about this guy here.
This is an effort to apply our knowledge to address some of the most urgent global problems.
So that rather distinguished looking gentleman is psychologist Albert Bandura, and he created something called SelfEfficacy Theory. So in psychology, self-efficacy is defined as the amount of belief a person has in their capacity to positively influence their life and to accomplish their goals. The amount of self-efficacy that you have will greatly influence your ability to overcome challenges, to get through moments of adversity, to problem solve, and to ultimately get the things that you want to get from life. If you have low self-efficacy, then you tend to see challenging situations as threats that need to be avoided. And obviously this could have pretty serious detrimental effects to your life. Whereas people with high self-efficacy see challenging situations as things that need to be mastered so that they can make their life better. And that can help them overcome failure so much quicker, can help them influence their life more positively on a day-to-day basis, and ultimately it helps create this personal culture of accomplishment and well-being. But one of the interesting takeaways from Bandura's work is his thoughts on motivation and goals. What he believed was that if you set a goal that is too ambitious, that's too challenging, then it can actually end up overwhelming you. It can end up kicking in all of your limiting beliefs. You start thinking, there's no way I can achieve this because it's just so far away from where I currently am. And this can actually end up causing our motivation to absolutely plummet. That the gap between where we currently are is just far too big in comparison to the end state of the goal. And this can end up just being, kind of deflating. So this totally resonates with me. I remember about 12 years ago when I was learning to do Cuban style dancing. My first teachers, or one of my first teachers, was this professional Cuban dancer. And he was absolutely amazing. Honestly, the way this guy moved his body was just utterly incredible. Absolutely nothing like that, by the way. That was just so random. And I remember coming away from the class feeling excited, inspired, but a little bit deflated because he was so much better than me. It was incredible. And I remember thinking, there's no way I can ever get even close to that level, so what's the point in even starting? And I think this can often be the case with our goals. It's all fine and well creating goals that are massively ambitious, but if you make them too big inside your mind, then they're going to totally overwhelm you, and this will cause your motivation to plummet. So in order to get round this, what Bandura says is you want to find the challenge sweet spot. What would be a goal that excites you, that does stretch you, that is challenging, but doesn't overwhelm you? Because when you find that challenge sweet spot, that's where you'll get the maximum amount of motivation to go after your goals. Because you're excited by it, but it's not kicking in any limiting beliefs. And that brings me back to New Year's resolutions, how to get them to actually stick. Yeah. But the crucial key that helped me stick with my New Year's resolutions and helped me go after pretty much most of my goals was this here. Don't make your goals too challenging. What? That's your advice? Really? But this makes total sense if you think about it. If you make the resolutions that you're going to stop smoking, going to exercise every day, eat nothing but salads, you're going to find the partner of your dreams, you're going to double your income, buy a Ferrari, go on a round the world trip, you're going to move into your dream home, and then you start to put all of these things on your vision board or you write them down in your journal, then it's just too much.
It's too big.
It's just going to totally overwhelm you. The chances are you might get a boost of inspiration in the beginning, in the short term, but once the magnitude of everything starts to dawn on you, then it's just going to deflate you because it's just totally overwhelming. So what you want to do is, as Bandura suggests, you want to find your challenge sweet spot. What would be some sort of goal that would excite you, that would stretch you? It would be a challenge, but not overwhelm you. And when you find what that is, that's your goal, that's the one you want to go for. Now, by the way, I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't be ambitious. You absolutely should. It's perfectly okay to have, more lofty, larger, ambitious goals. But if you do have these more ambitious goals, then you want to make sure that you break them down into manageable chunks. What would be the first logical step that you have to make? Then, when you accomplish that, what would be the next logical step? To not do that, it for me is a little bit like trying to read the book The Stand by Stephen King. Honestly, if there's a bigger book on the planet, then please do let me know. But if you sit down and try to think about reading this book in its entirety, then it's just totally overwhelming. It becomes a very good doorstop. But if you just set the goal to read a chapter an evening, then all of a sudden it becomes so much more manageable. And before you know it, you're making serious progress, and eventually you can actually reach the end. You've got to break down these more challenging, ambitious goals into these manageable chunks. For me, the personal development speaker Brian Tracy absolutely hits the nail on the head.
There are no unreasonable goals, only unreasonable deadlines.
Kind of wish I'd come up with that myself. So that's the advice I want to give you to help you stick with your New Year's resolutions or to help you accomplish your goals in general. Don't make them too challenging inside your mind. You want to find that challenge sweet spot. So now that you know how to set these goals in a way that make them achievable, then the next step is you want to boost your motivation even more. And in order to do that, you want to learn about using both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. So I've done a video on that subject. It's going to pop up around about here if you want to check that out, and I'll see you later on.